everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live right here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Now what I typically do is I go over some of the comic books that I pulled for the week, and then I get in and interact with you all as I discuss some of the topics and just things that have happened throughout the week, and just in comic news and movie news and fandoms in general, and just all kinds of other different things. And don't forget, guys, tonight I'm going to be having a very special guest here on the show with me. I don't know, for about a half hour, so we're going to have a great conversation with our special guest, and you're going to have to just wait to see who that is. Now, if you are a returning viewer, of course, thank you so much for being here as well. And another thing I wanted to say before we really get into anything is thank you so much to all of the Patreon supporters here of the channel. You guys are what keep these live streams kind of going, and hopefully, bringing us a better formatted live TV show whenever, or I guess live show, live TV show. Hey, this could be on TV. Maybe you're watching it on your TV. But thank you to all the Patreon supporters who, help us, fund things, to make these streaming experiences just a little bit better when we have our guests on the show. So no different than any other time, I'm going to get started right off the top with some of the comic books that I pulled for the week. And first, we're going to start off with Boom Studios' Folklords issue number 3. Guys, this book has been really great. It's like a medieval fantasy tale in which this kid, they kind of like graduating high school, and him and his friend went off into the forest in search of the Folklords. Now, what's going on here is this kid, like I said, it is medieval, but he has these visions of the future and technology and just all these different things. And you probably can't tell here by the cover, but what he does is he has suits. Like he's building, made himself like actual like business suits and things like that. Like you would find, like casual wear, or I don't know, is that casual wear? I don't know. Like if you were working in New York City or something, going to trade some stocks during the day. But so anyway, what's happened is that, him and his friend kind of went off on this mission. They're going through the forest, and, in the last issue, they kind of got caught up by some people. They ran into some people that seemed unsavory at the time. And then, of course, they walked upon this house that seemed a little peculiar, it was a little peculiar. It was kind of like that house that Hansel and Gretel went to. And so this story has begun to tell us, just a little bit of, just some of those fantasy tales, maybe folk tales that we have heard, probably all as children growing up, things like Hansel and Gretel, probably going to get into things like Jack and the Beanstalk, and just all of those, what kind of tales I'm talking about. This has been a really great book. This book is being written by Matt Kent and illustrated by Matt Smith, with colored by Chris O'Halloran and lettered by the hardworking Jim Campbell. Jim Campbell does so many comic books. I swear, he's a letterer on all kinds of things. That's why I always call him the very hardworking Jim Campbell. So yeah, like I said, this is a very great book. I've really enjoyed this. Now, the thing I can't really show you guys here on screen is the print that they use for their books here. The printing is really nice. The colors are really great in this particular book as well. But also, I'm telling you, like the covers, they use a certain, I'm not sure what it is, the stock that they use for making these covers. Really great stuff. Really nice books that Boom Studios puts out. Definitely Folklords. If you're into like a medieval fantasy, this is one you'll definitely want to check out. Now, the next one I have here is also on Boom Studios Comics, and that is going to be Once and Future issue number 6. This one is being written by Kieran Gillen. Dan Mora is on the art, and Tamara Bonneville is the colorist, and I believe it is lettered by Ed Dukeshire. All of that right off the top of my head, without even having to look inside and see who created this book. You know why? Because that's how great of a book that this is. Let me tell you, okay? This book is, I guess you could say it's a fantasy tale. It's not medieval, but it kind of has to do with medieval things. What happened is Duncan is our main character here, and think of him kind of like Ross from Friends. He's kind of a weenie, but he might be able to be tough if he needed to be, And basically what happens is his grandmother basically raised him in a certain way. Kind of what we found out in the last couple issues was kind of to her own ends, because she had a plan in place when she was raising him. Now, we don't really know a whole lot more about Duncan other than the fact that he was raised by his grandmother, and that his grandmother used to go around fighting these big fantastical beasts and putting an end to like the Knights of the Round Table, and that's kind of something we're getting here is with King Arthur. We're getting this story about how and you can see here on the back cover, the king is undead. And here on this beautiful cover is that this King Arthur has been resurrected, and he's coming, he's assembling his Knights of the Round Table to take over the earth and get some revenge on the Saxons and all kinds of different stuff. It's been pretty crazy, but Duncan and his grandmother have been going out trying to put an end to this. And coincidentally, like this girl that Duncan was out on a date with, on a blind date, somewhat it seemed like, they kind of ended up, I guess their stars crossed for a reason. Some really crazy stuff. But him and his grandma are out trying to stop these forces from taking over the earth. And that's kind of where we're getting the conclusion of the first story arc here in this book right here. We can see Duncan right there with his grandmother, who he is carrying, who has been injured. To this, they're going into this building. They've got this really crazy way how they cross over into these mystical planes and different things like that. But I just want to show you guys some of this art. I mean, look at some of these panels right here. Okay, for one, this has just been a great story so far. Now this actually started off as a mini series. I believe it was just going to be 6 issues, but it has gotten an extension, and it is going to be an ongoing series now. I have opinions on how I feel about that. I kind of wish that a story like this would have just stayed with its original 6 issues little story arc, because I'm not sure if when all this happened, but what's funny is like somewhere along the lines it almost seemed like the story kind of started to drag a little bit, like maybe they knew they were going to get a deal and this was going to carry on. I don't know. Not that it's bad, not that that's a bad thing or anything. I mean, hell, you do what you got to do. But one of the things I wanted to point out in this book, like I said, it's been really good. I've quite enjoyed Once and Future. I'm probably going to continue to pull this one, even once the second story arc comes around. I don't know, just because it's been pretty good. But one of the things I really wanted to point out here, aside from Kieran Gillen's great writing on this book, aside from Dan Mora's really great art, because believe me, the story in this book is really good. What Kieran Gillen has been doing has been great. Dan Mora's art in this book has been absolutely on point the whole time. But the one thing that I don't hear anybody else out there talking about when it comes to this book is Tamara Bonvillain and her coloring, okay? I'm not sure how well you guys could see this, but look at this coloring job, okay? This is absolutely beautiful. This is how you color a book. This is how you work that color palette. This is how you do, like, man, she knows what the hell she's doing. Look at this page right there. Look at that. Look at all that. Just her use of colors throughout this book, throughout this whole series, has been fucking great. And honestly, like I said, I haven't really heard anybody talking about how great of a job Tamara Bonvillain has been doing here. Now, I first heard of Tamara Bonvillain through Marvel Comics. She's done some coloring on some of their books over there. So, she's, I know she actually took part in the Fearless series, and I've covered that here on the Trailer Park Live. It was absolutely god-awful series, man. Like, just don't read it. Do yourself a favor. Listen to me. Don't read it. But that's where I kind of first heard of her name, was over there in this. Fearless was like this thing of they got a bunch of female creators together for Marvel, and they put together these books. And hey, that's cool. No problem there. But the stories there were just really lackluster and everything. But hey, none of that was Tamara Bonvillain's fault, because she knows how to ink or how to color a goddamn book. And I'm telling you, man, she's fucking great at it. And I think you guys should go check out Once and Future on Boom Studios Comics. Check it out and let me know what you guys think of it, because like I'm telling you, it's got a good story. It's got great art. And I'm telling you, it's got the most kick-ass colors I've seen in a lot of comic books, honestly. It's really great what Tamara Bonvillain is doing there on that book, and I just wanted to give her some shouts out for that, because it's really great. And I don't hear anybody else out there that seems to love this title that has talked about the coloring going on in the book of Once and Future, and I think you guys should go check it out. And I'm telling you, Tamara Bonvillain, please keep up that great work there. Now, the next one I want to talk about here is on one of my favorite comic book publishers, and that's Heist or How to Steal a Planet, issue number 3. This is being published by Vault Comics. The writer is Paul Tobin. Arjuna Susini is the artist. Vittorio Estone is the colorist. And Saida Temofonte is the letterer. I'll go ahead and show you those names right there, and you can see some of the art that we get here right at the beginning of this book. I'll go ahead and show you a little bit more on this one. Now, this one right here has been quite a different tale. You know, I was trying to think of a way to explain how this book is, but this book is, imagine, you know, it was perfect too, because I was watching Edwin the Comic Jabroni earlier today during his live stream, and he was saying, you know, that it's kind of like Ocean's 11. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. When I heard it, I'm like, I couldn't think of what else it reminded me of in that heist movie kind of sense, you know what I mean? But to me, it's like Ocean's 11 meets Guardians of the Galaxy. Really great stuff. But what we got here is our main character. His name is Glenn, and what he's trying to do is through these first few books, we've found that he's going through and trying to assemble this team of people to help him steal a planet. What happens was he just got out of jail. He's being highly sought after. A lot of people are actually out to kill him, which is what we see a lot of in issue number 3. And they're out to kill him because what happened was he kind of betrayed, you know, this planet in the fact that he was trying to do this deal, a deal gone bad, where he ended up stealing a planet and sold it to this corporation. And now this corporation basically has this whole planet and civilization basically all enslaved, and they now own it. And what he's trying to do throughout the story is he's assembling a team of people to help him go in and steal this planet back. And they're really formulating their plan here in issue number 3. You know, at first I kind of felt like issue number 3, like actually issue number 2 kind of dragged on a little bit to what issue number 1 was, and then I kind of felt like this really did, issue 3 felt more like a issue number 2 maybe, I don't know. But I think I'm wrong here. After sitting here and reading this a second time and kind of sitting on it, this is a really great issue number 3 because we see their plan. We see he's got his team assembled. We got the plan starting to come together. He's assembling, getting some some armaments and some different things out there to go help him steal this planet back. And I've got to tell you, I've quite enjoyed this story very much. It's got some great comedy in it. Not a whole lot of drama or anything in it, but it's got the makings of a very good story so far. And I've quite enjoyed Heist or How to Steal a Planet issue number 3, definitely one I think you guys should go check out on my favorite comic book publisher, Vault Comics. The next one I had to talk about here is Marquise Roberts. If you're out there watching, you're gonna like this, my brother. This one is on Valiant Comics, and that's Roku issue number 4. And take a look at that beautiful cover. That is that's just a beautiful cover right there, okay? This one I actually got on loan from my local comic book shop so I could do a review on. This is issue number 4 of 4. This is a 4-issue miniseries of Roku, who is a character that has been around in the Valiant universe for quite a while, apparently, after Marquise Roberts has been telling me to go out and watch Ninjak versus the Valiant universe over here, here on YouTube. It was a pretty cool show. I haven't got to finish it yet, but I'm close. Very good show. But basically what Roku is doing in this final issue is she finishes off, she's after this young girl, this little girl who has kind of been enhanced. She can see, she has stuff like basically downloaded and streamed right into her. Anything on the internet, the dark web, satellite feeds, news feeds, all kinds of stuff. This little girl knows just about everything for the most part, which is why she's being sought out and why Roku was hired to bring her in to her employers, because they were after this little girl who's so useful because she knows everything, right? So Roku here in the end, she ends up she's fighting this one mech, and God, I can't remember exactly what her name is. It's Amy. No, not Amy. It's blah 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 blah. Oh man, what is her name? Something one. Dang it, I don't remember. I can't find her name. I want to say it's like Angelica. No, Angelina is her name. Okay. Let's see. What is her name? It says on here somewhere. Yeah, anyway, there's somebody else after this little girl as well to help bring her in to probably the same employers that Roku is, but actually at this point they're both in a mission to keep this girl from being killed because it's just a little girl, and they end up here. One of the people that they're having to face is this guy called the Minister of Blades. Like anything that's like blades, like pokey, stabby, that can hurt you, he can control it, including Roku's hair. So she has to find a way around being able able to kill him and defeat him without using her hair, because she can't stab him because he can control her hair in that case. So some very interesting stuff. This has had a lot of action and everything in it. I don't know. For being a 4-issue miniseries, I wish there would have been more here. It's not a bad story. I just feel like this is one of those books where you get a miniseries of 4 issues where you kind of feel like maybe they should have had 5. And sometimes I've read some issues or some miniseries where they have 5 issues, and it's like maybe they should have just had 4. So this is one of those rare ones where I think Valiant should have actually went out of their way to make sure that they had 5 issues on this one. I think they could have fleshed this story out just a little bit more and made it a little bit better. And let me see if I'll go ahead and show you some of the art going on here in this book. You can check out some of that. Now, this book is actually being written by Cullen Bunn, who seems like he's been writing a lot of stories lately. Cullen Bunn. It's got art by Ramon F. Box, colors by Stephanie Petro, and letters by David Sharp. Associate editor is David Minchell, and I'll go ahead and show you guys those names there as well. That is all for Valiant. Again, guys, I don't read a whole lot of Valiant comics, but I've got to tell you, this one right here, I thought Roku, this little 4-issue miniseries, has actually been pretty good, considering like it feels a little bit rushed because it should be 5 issues. Again, I doubt Valiant's out there watching my videos or anything, but if you are, Valiant, I'm telling you, next time make a great book like Roku, make it 5 issues instead of 4. Tell a little bit better story. You can build it up a little bit better. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. And I'll have videos coming out for some of these as well. The next one I want to talk about is Vampire State Building, issue number 4. Guys, this is the 4th issue being published by Blaze Comics, the 4th and final issue of Vampire State Building. And this is actually one of those ones, like I was just saying a minute ago, where you get some books like Roku that 4 issues just don't seem to do it. Vampire State Building here, I think, is one of those books that's really teetering on, walking that fine line. Basically, what's happened here is a group of friends got trapped. One of the friends was getting ready to go off into the military, saying goodbye to his friends. They're kind of having a little going away party for him here. So they go to the Empire State Building, and they end up, there's this construction crew. They're in there kind of renovating the building, and they open up this tomb, and all these homeless people start rushing the building, and they are vampires. And they start killing people. Well, basically, like, think of this book. Imagine something like, I don't know. Imagine, say, like, a Night of the Living Dead or something like that meets Die Hard, because they're all trapped inside this building. And so basically what's happened is this last resort issue is the police have begun to pump gasoline in through the sprinkler system so they can torch it, so they can light it up. They're going to light the Empire State Building on fire. But then it's also planned because we see in this book they're going to torch it, but they also want to torch it so much just so they kill what's inside without harming the structure of the building. Something, some of their plans that they've had. And they have the guy who's basically in charge of the building there on site as well. His daughter is actually trapped inside the building with her former boyfriend, who is the person they were sending off. So this is the epic conclusion of this book, and I've got to tell you, I thought this book was actually pretty good. I'm not sure if we're going to get a second story arc here. This book was really good. It's done by the same artist who done the Walking Dead series. The comic book series. You can go ahead and take a look at some of the art here. I gotta tell you, this is another one of those ones where it's 4 issues. I don't think it should have been 5 issues, but I definitely think that it could have been, maybe some of the issues could have been a little bit longer to help flesh out this story, because I feel like issue number 4 and issue number 3 here have sort of felt a little bit rushed, where issue number 1 and issue number 2 seem to build the story up quite well. Again, I'm not sure that it needed a 5th issue, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty good regardless. The next one we want to talk about is on Image Studios, and that is Family Tree, issue number 3. This one is being written by Jeff Lemire. I believe it's got art by Phil Hester and Eric Gapster. Ryan Cody is the colorist, I'm guessing. Steve Wands is the letterer. Will Dennis, I have no clue, because they give us names here, and they didn't really tell us what any of these people did. But basically what's going on in this story is, this one is like a post-apocalyptic kind of future thing, but we're seeing it happen in real time as it happens. Loretta has left her job, and she's basically on the run now with her kids and her her husband's father, as her daughter has this condition, and now her daughter is actually being hunted by these strangers, these people. They have no clue why, but she's turning into a tree. And in here we see that the young girl Megan actually gets visited by her father, who has been missing for quite a while. So she kind of rekindles her kind of relationship with him, finds out where he's been, as the grandfather here is actually taking them all to a friend to get some help with exactly what their problem is going on here, because her, like I said, the young girl Megan is turning into a tree. But there's a lot more going on here, because we start to see the story starts to unfold as we see that the people who are after Loretta's daughter Megan are there's something to this, and they're being interfered with by Judd and his friend here. Judd is the grandfather, and so there's some really interesting things going on here. I believe this is only a 5-issue miniseries being published by Image Comics, and I've got to say, it's something weird. I don't know what it is, this thing with these trees. I don't know. But Family Tree, it's been a pretty decent read so far. I'm pretty interested to see how the last 2 issues of this book are gonna go, because it's, like I said, it's been pretty weird so far. Now, the last one I want to talk about here is one that I actually have dropped a review here on the channel of already. That's Marauders issue number 6. Guys, this is one of the titles spinning out of the Dawn of X series, and Marauders has been one of my favorite titles coming out of the Dawn of X series, and everything that's been happening in this book is fucking great. Jonathan Hickman's been doing a good job kind of seeing all these books, but this book in particular book is being written by Jerry Dugan. The Matteo Lolli and Mario Del Pino are the artists. Eric Arciniega and Federico Blia are the color artists, and VC's Corey Petit is the letterer. The cover artist is Russell Dodderman and Matthew Wilson. I'll show you those names here. And guys, look at this. This is something I've been talking about for a while, is they finally give us a one-page title page. They've been doing these 2-page spreads. It's been ridiculous, especially considering every single book we've been getting these white pages here as well, telling us pretty much a story recap and what characters are going to be in here, when they could have easily put this same stuff here on this page here and maybe take some of that. Anyway, this book here, guys, has been fucking great. Marauders has been a great book. Everything that I think me and probably a lot of other people have been thinking about Marauders comes true in this book. This book was fucking exciting to read this week, guys. Like, I was reading this book, like, it's such a page turner. I'm sitting there like, yes, oh, I knew it, oh, damn, that's how good this book was. This book was fucking exciting. I was so glad to read this book and see the things that came out of this one, because I did really get excited by this book. I'm telling you, this book has been one of my favorites, and Kate Pryde and her band of marauders have been going around the world, bringing mutants that have been denied access to these Krakoan gates to take them to the nation state of Krakoa. They've been out there doing their pirate thing, bringing mutants back to Krakoa, and it's just been fucking great watching this arm wrestling match between Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost. And Sebastian Shaw, how he's been kind of playing the whole fucking thing. Dude, it's been fucking crazy. I'm telling you. Marauders is great. If you haven't been reading Marauders, this is one of the must-read issues of the week. And not only that, of the Dawn of X series, especially the titles. This is one of the premier titles and one of the best titles, or one of the best books that Marauders has put out so far. Aside from that one I keep gushing over with Storm, where she's on the cover and she looks fucking beautiful. Anyway, now that's all I have for the comic books that I've got this week. Now, I do have some more of these reviews will be coming out on the channel. But, guys, the other day, on Monday, we seen that there was an announcement that Kelly Thompson is going to be writing a new Black Widow series. And I announced a giveaway in that video, so make sure that you go watch it. I just dropped it here on Monday, and it's going to be a giveaway for a copy of Black Widow No Restraints Play by Jen and Sylvia Soska. This is a trade paperback, 5 issues in one. You can't beat this book. I'm telling you, this is my favorite comic book of last year. I'm going to be giving away a copy of this on May 1st. To find out how to get entered into it, you're going to have to go back and watch that video that I did on Monday. There should be a link to that down in the description here as well. But you've got to go back and learn how to get entered into that. Now, first, the one thing I will tell you is that you've got to be a U.S. resident for shipping reasons and things like that. You got to be a resident of the United States, and you've also got to be subscribed to the channel. And you're going to have to find out the rest in that video, how to get entered into this, because I'm telling you guys, this is my favorite comic book of last year, Black Widow No Restraints Play, written by Jen and Sylvia Soska. It's got art by Flaviano. The colors are done by Veronica Gandini, and the letters are done by, I want to say the letters are done by Ah, man, why all of a sudden did I forget it? VC's Clayton Cowles, I believe. And then the cover art is done by Clayton Crane. Absolutely great book. This is my favorite, like I said, this is my favorite comic book of last year. And I've been wanting to give a copy of it away. I've been waiting for the perfect time, and now we're going to do it. We're going to do it on May 1st. So make sure that you go back to that video that I did where they announced, Kelly Thompson is the writer of the new Black Widow series on Monday. Make sure you go watch that video and find out how to get entered into that giveaway that I will be doing on May 1st. Now, that's all I have for my comic books and everything that I have for right now. Going to go ahead and get into the rest of the show right now. We've got a lot of things to talk about. There's been a lot of news going on this week in the world of Marvel and even in the world of Star Wars, and of course there always seems to be discourse within the fan community, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into a little bit more of that tonight. So it's gonna be fun, as it always is. Anytime we get together with you guys, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna, I don't know. It's just going to be fun. And we are going to have, like I said, we are going to have a special guest here on the show tonight. I can't wait to get into it. I know you can't wait to get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and get here off of my camera here, and we're going to go ahead and get into the rest of the show.